on this meeting, which is organized in frames of the project Gateway to Fairtrade Fashion. Maybe we stop sharing for a while the presentation to what will allow to see us all together and make up maybe print screen for the documentation. I'll be facilitating this session together with Isabella Ersain from WFTO Africa, Middle East, and also representing our project partner. I'm very glad to see here the representatives of regions, global office, WFTO regions. We can see members from the Far East, from Latin America, from Africa. So we are very happy to see all of you, and so glad that you shared the interest of this project. A couple of housekeeping remarks. As you noticed, we have asked you to put the notice in the chat box about your presence, so the name and the organization or the company. That will be helpful for us to see who participated, get a feedback on the attendance. The chat will be monitored by Szymon Luliński from PFTA, and Szymon will be collecting your questions. So if there is any question you want to receive an answer during the presentation, please don't hesitate to write this in the chat box. We'll have also on the end the question and answer session. So if the question will be not urgent, we'll reply to this on the end. As you may notice, the session is recorded. It is for the use in the future. We'll prepare the recording from this webinar, and this will be shared in the means of communication of the project partners. That can be useful for those also who were not able to participate in this meeting. We can now see the agenda of the project, of the meeting, which includes several points. After just this welcome, we'll have a short warm-up session, then the project partners, information about the project partners and project sponsor, project objectives, activities, and timeline, then question and answers, and the meeting survey. So now for the beginning, a short warm-up by Regina Valenzano, who is responsible in this project for reporting. So she consolidates the reports from partners and presents the report to the sponsor. Regina, the floor is yours.
Yes, thank you, Tadeusz. Hi, everyone. I'm Regina, and I will guide you through the Menti. For those of you who are not familiar with Menti, it's like a live interactive game that we'll be doing. So you can go to menti.com and add the code, which is 31232772, or use the QR code and scan it. And that will lead you to another interface where we'll be playing. And I'll give you maybe a minute to do that. And then Simon, please go to the Menti.
You'll see 3 questions, and please try to briefly answer all of them.
Okay. Yeah, I can see some thumbs up, so I think we might be able to first
question.
And then for those of you joining now, you can see the code on the top. So you keep it joining menti.com and the code on the top. The first question is, what one word describes you that makes you so special. So if you identify a word that you think makes you special.
Did I display the results coming in?
Yes, so we go creativity, unique. Got a few people saying unique. The way it works is that the bigger the word, then the more people are choosing the same word. We got passionate, conscious, positive, honest, cute. Material, interesting choice. Honest, empathetic, creativity, human-centric, relaxed. Quite a few passionate and quite a few positive and honest. One of a kind.
Regina, can you see the screen with the feedback coming through?
Yeah, can't you?
Can you see this screen with feedback?
I can.
Yes.
That's what I was reading.
Yeah, it is visible.
Brilliant, thank you. I just can't change the slides on this screen.
Yeah, because Simon is sharing the screen. Okay, so let's see the second question.
Yeah. So what do you like the most about sustainable fashion? And same as before, you can add your thoughts directly in the app or in the web browser. But the first one coming in, that's fair. Good for the planet, less waste in the regional. Recovering heritage. Got also a comment and the chat saying giving value to each garment. Inclusive, cool and trendy. Less waste, fair payment and fair to all parties. Planet and human respect, community focus. Recovering heritage. Also conscious and ethical. Traceable, respect. Okay. I think you got quite a few interesting inputs. We can go to the next and last question. So how could get away to fair trade fashion best support your organization? We got the first one, AI support for business. Fundraising, spreading the word, give tools. Unified voice for fair trade brands. Get us big orders. Collaborating opportunities, networking, social media to connect with designers who can help us develop sustainable fashion. I think capital, that's help to position sustainable and fair trade fashion in the market, increasing awareness. Supporting transition to digital product passport introduced to other companies. Goes in the chat, connections and market opportunities.
Thank you, Simon and Regina, for this warm-up session. We can switch on the presentation. Switch to the presentation. So it's the moment for the presentation of project partners and sponsor. We have 4 partners in the project. This is, I can mention, this is second stage of the project. I'll come back to clarification about first part of the project. Now we have 4 partners, including WFTO Global Office, WFTO Europe, Regional Office, Polish Fair Trade Association, WFTO member, and Sustainable Journey from Turkey. Polish Fair Trade Association plays a role of the coordinator of the project, responsible for the reporting, contacts with sponsor, and supporting collaboration between partners. We have sponsor. This is a private foundation from Switzerland, from the Amani Foundation. This organization already supported the first stage of the project. Some of you may remember you benefited from this. There were micro grants for attending the Fair Trade Summit in Cape Town. That was one of the results of this first part of the project. We have some outputs of this first part. Which one among them, there is a kind of definition of what we understand what fair trade fashion exactly is. That is a result of a long-term process. Maybe Zerin, you can describe a little bit this process, the steps of this process, how we achieved this, how we reached this definition, and what next, how was designed this second stage of the project.
Thank you, Tadeusz. As some of you already know, we started this project a while back together with Tadeusz's involvement and the sponsorship of Amani Foundation. In the first phase, we formed a small working group with our members by working together with them through their SAR reports initially, and then working in a series of meetings with them in late 23. Following that, there has been a bridging phase under the leadership of Tadeusz and WFTO Global Office, which formed a more specific and more focused group to address certain issues that came out of the SAR analysis and several rounds of surveys to understand the needs of the members. And that kind of culminated into this, what you're seeing on the screen at the moment, a definition of fair trade that was developed by the project working group last year in June 24. It refers to, as you can see, a wide range of products supplied to the markets in accordance with the standards of fair trade labels. The fair trade label, in this case, refers to the certification schemes described in the 2020 International Guide to Fair Trade Labels edition. In particular, fair trade apparel products are manufactured within the framework of our project by WFTO members and supplied to several markets with the involvement of different importers and retailers by guaranteed WFTO members or alternative ethical distribution channels. So following this very broad definition, which can also, of course, get modified in the second phase, as Tadeusz briefly mentioned, there was a stakeholder meeting which was held during Cape Town Summit last year with the involvement of our members, but also external partners, out of which a report to focus on certain areas emerged, which also shaped in detail the second phase that we started with the involvement of new partners and hopefully broadened our project. Yeah. Back to you, Tadeusz.
Thank you, Zerin. Having this opportunity, I want to express my gratitude to working group members. Some of them I can see here today. And that was Indra Dasgupta, who was making a really great contributions, Sunil Shakhtar, Srishti Bajarachia, Bernard Doth, Mikkel Kofod, Maria Mantradona. Thank you for all of you for your contribution and results of your work. Together with Zerin, we prepared this the outputs of the first and bridging stage of the project. So it was the activity list connected to the problems recognized by a working group dedicated to this fair trade fashion niche, product niche. And then based on this, together with really big effort of our partners from Sustainable Journey, Turkey, Isabella and Bashak, and also Global Office, we prepared the second stage of the project. And we have now the aims described to this second stage. So at first, we want to strengthen the visibility of fair trade apparel products, create opportunities for market access and long-term sustainability of WFTO members. And we want to attract, spread out this as a contribution for change. So about centering dignity, equity, and environmental responsibilities across global supply chains. So this is the environment we are in. Then when the design phase of this project was completed, we built up a timeline. As you can see, maybe one back to this timeline, the second stage of the project started in June 25 and will be completed in December 26. What we want to achieve, this is, you can see we have started from solely activities of the partners of the project, and then thanks to activity plan, we want to gather all of you, all the stakeholders, by filling the activities and tasks described in the activity plan and divided into work packages. So now I would like to ask our partners to clarify how their activities will be proceeded, first facilitating collaboration.
Thank you, Tadeusz. I'll be representing WFTO Global and explaining this activity. But before I do, I should say welcome to everyone and thank you for taking the time to attend the session. It really means a lot to us, and your collaboration is really crucial to the success of this project. So as part of this activity, there are three main activities that we are responsible for. Firstly is the compilation of a fashion events calendar to our sister members to actually identify and know where there are fashion events or fairs in 2025 and 2026. Very important here. If you do not see an event that you are attending, please will you send us a message and we'll add that event to the calendar. The next activity is the development of a fashion member carousel. This carousel is already available on our website and it highlights all our verified fashion members. And sorry, I just want to note, can someone please admit people while I'm presenting? Because
I am doing it. I'm doing it.
Thank you. And in the chat, you'll see the links to these two activities. And thirdly, and very importantly, is the development of a fashion member search on our website. There is already currently a verified member search, which displays all our members. However, this will be a specific fashion member search. And in order to do this development, we need your feedback. So please complete the survey before the 15th of July, and this will help us develop the correct filters and user guides and experience so that when people actually visit our website, they actually see what you have to offer and to get the awareness and market access that you deserve. The next thing that I'll be discussing is the branding and marketing activities. This involves three activities too. Firstly, a slogan and byline will be developed for the project, and this will be supported by a QR code. Each and every fashion member that is part of the project will get their own QR code. It is not just any QR code. It is a QR code that will have analytics on the back end, so it'll enable us to see how many QR codes were scanned, and also enable us to see the last scan. This QR code will be supported by existing product label and first buyer label. Lastly, and very importantly, is to identify and engage with non-ethical fashion brands, retailers, and producers. And this will further strengthen our collaboration, partnerships, and market access within the markets. I'll hand over now to Isabella.
It is non-WTO ethical fashion brands.
Yes, sorry, non-WTO.
Yes, we want them
not
to be
non-ethical.
Exactly, we want them to be ethical, but they're not necessarily WTO members.
Excuse me. Isabella, over to you.
Thank you. So I'm going to be presenting the capacity building activity. Please, next slide. So as you may know, in this kind of projects and programs, there's a lot of capacity building, a lot of learning and webinars and things like that. In this particular project, we really wanted to make it just an additional part, but center it to the needs of the people of today's market, today's marketing needs, etc., etc. So there is going to be 5 different modules which will be you will be able to attend, and those modules are going to be organized in 2 parts. A very brief description and tools actually, and a more interactive part, so that you guys can really learn and use those skills we're going to try to share with you. So the first one will be, of course, on this Fairtrade Fashion Byline and the QR code. How do we use it? How we can take full advantage of it, and what can be done with that amazing tool WFTO Global is going to be putting into place. The second one is going to be around sustainability and circularity, because it's a very hot topic right now on the markets, and people are looking very much into those topics. The third one is export readiness, trend forecasting for the next upcoming seasons, and how to effectively use AI for artisan businesses. Those modules will be presented by experts. While I cannot yet share at this stage the names, I am already excited by a few potential people who are ready to jump in and be our teachers and guide us through those topics. Next slide, please. So the product development, there is a small product development part we want to address here. We would like to co-create and collaborate with all of you, with all the fashion producers, to create a capsule collection. So a concept which will showcase everybody's products, everybody's skills, everybody's heritage in a very curated manner, so that we can use that as a very strong tool for promotion and bring those market eyes into our producers. So the aim is that as many people as possible participate, and we can have enough beautiful products to fill up a full stand and show the concept, what Fairtrade fashion really is, how beautiful the products are, how amazing skills, production techniques, etc. we have in our ecosystem. Next slide. So now I'll pass it back to Natalie. Am I correct? Or Zerrin?
To me, yes.
Zerrin, sorry.
Thank you, Isabella. Okay. Thank you, Natalie, also. So one of the key elements, well, welcome all, first of all. And one of the key elements of this next phase of our project is a new grant scheme designed to support WFTO members working in the fashion category. The idea overall is to offer a flexible funding opportunity to help our members to strengthen their production, explore new ideas, build new business partnerships, and reach new markets or improve the existing ones. No, go back, please. Thank you. The scheme is still in development, but we're aiming to launch the full call by the end of November 23. So the grant scheme aims to strengthen key areas of fair trade fashion among WFTO fashion members, as you can see. It aims to build capacity for ethical and sustainable production, which could mean upgrading how things are made, supporting artisanal training, or improving different practices, just to name a few. It also encourages product innovation and better access to markets by helping members develop new ideas or refine existing ones. Another key focus is on storytelling and visibility, because as we all know, the stories behind fair trade fashion are powerful and they need to be heard more broadly and more positively. And the project aims to provide members support on that. And lastly, the grant is meant to support efforts to enter new markets through trade fairs, digital platforms, or new memberships. Thank you. And if we look at how the grant scheme will work in practice, I would like to say that we are still in the early stages of developing the grant program's details, but what I'm presenting today is the current working structure, and we will be refining it in the next months. As it currently stands, the eligibility criteria will include the following, as you see, being a WFTO member, working in the fashion sector, present a feasible and focused plan for using the funds, and be willing to share outcomes and impact stories once implementation is complete. And in terms of the timeline, the current plan is to open the call for applications end of November with a deadline for submission set for January 26, which would allow members enough time to prepare their proposals. And then the selection will continue in February, and between February and through December, the programs that the applicants will present will take place, and ideally end at the end of 26. So during, on our end, the published call, I would say already will include a comprehensive overview of the program, a selection of different modular options, along with clear selection criteria, application instructions, and a question answer section to ensure full clarity for the whole process. It will not be a burdensome application package, but it will be well defined for people to be able to apply apply for the grant with clarity. And during the implementation, our colleagues at Sustainable Journey are planning to offer virtual office hours for grantees to address certain questions, and there will also be some check-in points along the way to understand how things are going. We will, as I said, share all official information when the time comes with you in detail. This is the current plan. Please keep an eye on our WFTO newsletter, especially, but also our social media and any kind of email that you might receive from our side. I think I will send it, give it back to Isabella, if I'm not mistaken.
Thank you very much. So next, and I might say one of the parts I'm the most excited about in this project is the market access part. This is very important for our members. I am a member myself, and we struggle the most in this market access, getting those sales, getting those dollars flowing in and selling our products all over the world. So we focused with the entire team here on developing a very comprehensive and very ambitious market access plan, where we plan to attend at least 2 international trade fair events with a booth which will present that capsule collection we talked about earlier, under the fair trade fashion umbrella, I would say. So this stand will be highly curated. We have already approached a world well-known person who is specialized in not only the curation, but who has amazing contacts with different markets and who is very well versed in those international events. We are hoping to organize also a digital showcase to kind of broaden the contact and the touch points with more international audience for our and possible buyers, actually, because as you may know, our membership is scattered all over the globe. So those 2 international trade fairs, which most probably will be in Europe, might not be their preferred market. So we wanted to add an additional activity which will kind of broaden that and allow for everybody to profit from those doors we will try to open, and those connections we'll try to make for our members. Next slide, please. So we're discussing right now 2 different trade events. One is Source Fashion, as many of you might know. It's the Europe's leading responsible sourcing show. So it is very focused. I think this is the one which I'm kind of personally tending towards, because it's really around you know, responsible manufacturing, sourcing and consumption. And we engage already talks with the organizers, and they're also willing not only give us a nice booth space, but also provide some additional platforms to hold talks and maybe some activations events during the fair. The second one would be Who's Next, which is a very trendy young designer, young brand showcase in Paris. So we are talking with both of the organizations. We will see. Regarding the timeline, we will do our best to have one winter show and one summer show, but it might be a little bit complicated because, as you heard, the grants are going to start at the end of the year, and those editions are in early February. So if we can catch one this early February, we will. If not, we will try to do maybe Source Fashion and Who's Next in the summer edition. The second part of our market access is the connection with a program Sustainable Journey is deploying right now within Turkey and the larger MENA region, and spreading even more as we talk. This program is called Linens for Life. It's a program which is based on a shared value program by a multinational company called Diverse. It's a Solenis company. It's a company actually producing cleaning products and chemicals, but they have this amazing opportunity is that they work with about 80% of global hospitality chains. So all the biggest hotels and hotel chains in the world, 80% of them work with this company. The idea here, I'm not going to take too much time, is that we get discarded linens from those hotel partners. We connect them with close by local producer groups. We transform them into value products, and those products are sold back to those same hotels, providing amazing opportunities for sustainable livelihoods, for good income flow to those producers. So the idea is to map our members who have already sewing capacity and we will do our best to put them in touch with the hotel partners we're already working with, so that we can kind of help them, even though this is not fashion products, this is more going to be hotel amenity products, but it is a very good source of revenue. It is an amazing opportunity for putting your name out there as well. And many of those hotels are very interested by fashion shows and fashion events as well. So there's a lot of synergy we can explore, and we will do our best with our team to connect that and to plug that in so that our members can benefit. Apart from that, we have some efforts to reach other markets, a few leads already within the United States with some chains of ethical retailers with whom we will try to connect our members and promote the existence of a group of people who are working in the fashion sector. Thank you. I will
Thank you,
pass
Isabella.
Mikel.
Yes, thanks. This is my turn now to cover a bit on advocacy and funding, which is the role that WFTO Europe will take up in this project after participating a bit in the first phase. I will endeavor to be brief. So as you can see, we have three main objectives within the part allocated to us. One is on sharing resources on fundraising. I will get into that in a bit, but mainly through a quarterly newsletter that will share hopefully opportunities that we can identify for you, and then resources on how to apply for them. Then advocate for political solutions to promote fair trade fashion at EU level especially, but also in other international fora. As I'm sure you're aware, although political advocacy takes a lot of work and is, always a bit, let's say, it's never very clear how big an effect we can potentially have. However, if we manage to have policymakers put in place solutions that support businesses like yours, that will make a tremendous impact on you also financially and business-wise. So this is an aspect that could not be ignored in this kind of project, and so one that we'll contribute with. Also, of course, in partnership with our ever partner in advocacy, Fair Trade Advocacy Office in Brussels. And then lastly, also working on, in any case, and monitoring EU policy and upcoming EU legislation means we will also try to translate that into guidance and advice on compliance for members and other interested parties to this project. This is something we'll do jointly with Sustainable Journey. Next slide, please. So just a few more details on these three objectives. They're ordered by objectives. So first on sharing resources and for potential funding, as I said, will mainly be in the form of quarterly newsletter that we will share with you later on how to sign up for before the first one is launched. And this will include opportunities that we map for support for SMEs working in the fashion sector with a focus on hopefully sustainability, social and environmental, as well as advice from our side or kind of guidance on how to apply for opportunities like this, building on our own fundraising experience and project management experience. Under the second one on advocacy, our key message will be to showcase that we don't need to reinvent the solution to the massive issues with environment and human rights abuse in the fashion sector. Alternatives already exist, and you're part of that alternative. So what we want to do is to convey your practices to policymakers in different fora, of course, EU, but also there are others like the OECD forums on due diligence in textiles and footwear and others, which have a massive impact and usually collect leaders in policymaking and in the compliance part of industry, where we'll try to demonstrate your practices as best practices that should be supported by policies. And then also inform you on developments in the policy sphere and how you can potentially contribute to advocacy depending on your capacity. And then lastly, on the guidance on upcoming legislation, first of all, we want to share with you how we track the legislation that we can see, because as many of you may know, a lot of this is really changing very fast at the EU level. There was big expectation that this would really make a difference in industry, because there is a lot of emphasis on new sustainability regulation, new due diligence regulation. However, this is changing fast. What remains though still at this point is that industry has really geared itself up to comply with such regulation or is looking into it. So you may still have an advantage being front runners on due diligence and sustainability practices. And this is also what we want to do under this part of the guidance, is also explore together with you how we can showcase you and similar businesses as front runners on these policies, and so as reliable and good sustainable alternatives for buyers to choose when they source their garments. Yes, that's it from my side. And now it's Erin's turn, I believe.
Yes. Hi, everyone. Good morning from New York City in the US. I am Erin Flannery. I am the communications coordinator for Gateway to Fair Trade Fashion. super excited to be with you today just to discuss our strategy, ethos, and how communications will work for the project. So first off, I just want to discuss a little bit here about the ethos surrounding our communications strategy. As you've heard earlier, fair trade fashion is a relatively new term, and it needs stronger visibility, credibility, and recognition within the space, particularly by getting the word out there through communications and social media. And in order to grow our movement, we must define what the standards for fair trade fashion are to ensure it's recognized globally by all types of different target groups, from the consumers to the retailers. And Gateway to Fair Trade Fashion will be helping to position fair fashion as a unifying term, which encompasses a lot of hot topics and terms within the industry right now. So whether it's ethical fashion, sustainable fashion, slow fashion, or just fair trade fashion, that's going to be our term that really takes all of these values that support our project. So living wages, environmentalism, and non-exploitative practices, gender equity, all of those things are encompassed in the term fair trade fashion. Our comms strategy will support everything that we do, from market access to storytelling. Communication will be the thread that ties it all together, and our producer groups, our makers, our partners, everybody will be supporting that mission here. So this is just a quick graphic that I think really encompasses our strategy here. Once we have that visibility and notoriety, we'll garner recognition and gain access to markets. That recognition being through social media, maybe a brand or a trade show. That way our visibility kind of gets out there, and we receive access to those markets. And with that, by partnerships, we will garner some type of systemic change within the system, having people really see a label, a term fair trade fashion, know what that means, and want to buy that product because of it. The way that our communications will sort of run, I will sort of be assisting here within communications as that coordination for the Fair Trade Fashion Communication Cloud. We, as Gateway to Fair Trade Fashion, will disseminate materials, toolkits, things like that to our partners, whether it's the global, regional, WFTO partners here, the artisan groups, the producer groups that we're working with, and our partner institutions and networks that you've been seeing kind of pop in here throughout the presentation. They will also use our communication templates, and hopefully then just begin to spread through that web, really getting in contact with brands, either through trade shows or social media. Buyers and retailers will see that, and eventually it gets down to that base level consumer, which we're trying to really take a hold of from all the way down at Gen Z up through people who have known fair trade fashion for years. So yeah. And what we will be providing, which I think is really exciting to all partners, people who are entering into this space, entering into our project, are ready to use templates. So I'm creating currently a Canvas suite that will have social media posts, event banners, presentation slides, all designed for easy adaptation, customizable to your organization. And I'm happy to walk through that with folks as well. We'll also include our messaging guides, hashtags that we plan to use, just so that the more people who use those same hashtags will then kind of create a bubble of communication growth around that topic, that conversation. And I'll also be helping to create curated content packs from photos, stories, mission statements, captions, case studies, meet our producer groups, meet our makers that are ready to post for you on your social media channels. So really the whole mission here is consistency without any complexity. Let us take care of it for you. We'll make it easy for you to stay on brand while also letting you adapt our communication templates to your audience. And with that, I would love to receive any photos, videos, content that you have as partners, producers, to promote with our channels as well. I'll be dropping my email in the chat, so feel free to send there via Google Drive, Dropbox, whatever works for you. And we would love to just receive that so we can kind of begin. We're creating our content schedule for the next quarter or so. So we would love to get you in that plan. And I think that that pretty much encompasses for now, what we'd like to share about what we're doing going forward with communications. I know it was all important to you, visible through the Mentimeter chats at the beginning. So if you have any questions, feel free to email me. I believe Natalie just dropped my email in the chat. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Irene. Thank you for all the project partners for the presentations. I think that we are ready now to answer the questions if there are any. You could see the email address to which Erin shared for sending the direct questions about communication and sending the materials. We also will share the space on the disk for you, which will allow to collect the materials. In particular, we decided to open the TikTok channel for the project, and we'll be very happy if you help us to collect the content, just showing how you work, what you do, and your introductory messages or something like this. That is new in this environment. All the partners, they have LinkedIn, the channels, websites, Facebooks and Instagrams, but for the project purpose, we'll try to use as a pilot the new mean of communication, which is TikTok, very, very popular among young people. Isabella, we now have the moment for questions and answers. I can see that I don't see any questions in the chat, but maybe someone, oh, I can see Indro is raising hand. Okay.
Okay, first thing is that TikTok is banned in India, Tadeusz, so don't do TikTok, please. So no TikTok. Yeah, we can do Insta, no TikTok.
So, Indro, we are aware of that. The idea with TikTok is to touch a younger audience, and creating content for TikTok will give you content you can use on Instagram Reels and Instagram as well. So this is a specific account, TikTok account belonging to the project, just to touch that massive amount of young people who are communicating a lot. So we are aware it's banned in a few places, people cannot use it, but that content, you will still be able to use it on other channels as well. There's a lot of TikTok influencers who are already very excited by promoting what fair trade is and fair trade fashion is. And I think this is something which we really need, because, you know, the movement is getting old and we need that fresh blood and those youngsters to be proud to purchase, to showcase those beautiful products we're making.
I can add to this that in the recent presidential election in our country, the surveys said that 62% of the people voting, the first source of info for the 62% of the people voting, the first information channel was TikTok. Sadly, but it was. So we cannot ignore that, simply saying. But of course, adjust.
Anyway, that was not my question. I'll come back to my question. But on the TikTok issue, in this project, we will really need to define who is the target, because product creation for a younger audience versus a conservative traditional audience is very different. And fair trade so far has been towards a little more mature audience. So anyway, that is a different issue. We can come to that. My question is, I heard that there's going to be, I don't recall who was saying that there's going to be a new search function on the WFTO page, right? I think Natalie,
Yep.
were
Yes, that's correct.
So when the current search function was created, I remember there was some confusion over the product categories. And to be very honest, I was not happy with what we have now, because it was not very inclusive. There were some product categories which were not left out, because there's a certain hierarchy, you know, you have the top level categories, then you have the subcategories. So there's a natural flow of it. So I hope we get it right. I won't say get it right, but I hope we get it to be a more inclusive categorization, because what you will see in the WFTO world is that there's so many types of products that it's tricky to include everyone, you know. And some members, for example, my organization, we have products in several categories. So you cannot really put us in one bucket and just leave us there. So let's just be careful about this categorization this time around.
Thank you, Indra. If I may just answer that. So because we obviously had a broad search function for all members in all industries and all categories, this is one of the main reasons why we've now done a separate fashion search. And I will then take it offline and actually ask for your feedback and comments on what product categories you specifically think are missing and what we should add. But I'll also share it with all members that are participating here. But this is also why it's quite important to complete the survey, which you already have. So thank you for your comments, Indra, because I know you made this comment.
Yes.
And yes, it will be a detailed category search.
Okay, great, wonderful. Thank
Thank
you.
you, thank you, Natalie. I can see two questions in the chat, one from Mylene and another from Laura. Isabella, are you ready to answer this first question?
Yes, of course. So the question says, I was wondering, will the participation in the fairs be for fair trade brands sharing a stand to reach retailers, or is it more about showcasing the capsule collection? The idea is not to have a stand with brand A, brand B, brand C, brand D, because that's quite messy and it's not very much attractive for buyers. The idea is to really have a curated collection. So yes, the capsule collection will be the base for that, but of course, every single member, WFTO member, is welcome to participate to that stand. So the person who is going to curate that collection will be holding a webinar, will be talking to you as of what are the themes, what is the trends of that year, and you will be able to submit your products and your category. The idea is to create like a huge collection, but collection from different members. Then the goal on the stand as well is to promote you and to promote your company. Even though somebody might have only one product on that stand, we will have their full catalog, we will have their full contact details, and the idea is to follow up with those who came to the stand, who are interested with showcasing a maximum of the brands as well. I hope that answers the question.
Thank you, Isabella.
Sorry,
And
Tadeusz. There was a question related to the trade fair, is who's curating the collection?
So we are talking to different people who are ready to jump into that role. They haven't been a selection made yet, but as soon as we know, we will present you the person. And you know, I don't want to give out her name before she comes in front of you and tells who she is, the experience she has, etc., etc. But we will be sharing that broadly, and there's going to be a meeting organized between the members and between that person, and we will be, of course, assisting in that so that we can discuss. You know, this is a collaborative way of doing things. So your feedback, your suggestions are also going to be crucial in that process of creating this booth, going together, and how we present ourselves.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Isabella, for this clarification. We have a question which refers to advocacy. Michael, did you see this question? There are concerns from Laura shared. You can see this in the note from the meeting on the bottom about the new regulation expected to be approved in Europe by 2027, currently upcycling in relation to the digital product passport falls into a very great area which is quite concerning. It would be great to include this topic in any conversation around influencing EU policy. It's Lara question.
I was sorry. Yeah, I see it. Thanks. I'm not sure about which detail exactly you're talking about, although the digital product passport is, of course, within our scope of the regulation we're looking at. We can look into this. What we have been looking at, which could be a concern, is the better eco score that synthetic fibers, so polyester essentially gets over natural fibers in because of its perceived better durability. So this is one thing that we have emphasized already in meetings with members of European Parliament that we've had in, well, I think it's 2 weeks ago now, in the very early phases of this project. But if you can give me more details on what you mean exactly. I mean, we do understand that, yeah, how they see upcycling and these things and how it goes, it's not going in the direction we want, that's for certain. Yeah, sorry,
Okay.
you want to say?
Yeah, I will give you details. I hope my network holds. I hope
Otherwise,
I'm
also, but in
audible.
writing could be fine. I mean, an email, but please.
Yeah, so basically, for instance, we work with polyester sarees mainly. Like we're not very sure about the composition of these fibers. So it's quite concerning for us because, of course, we do something that is very sustainable. Like we work only with post-user sarees, and we have a really huge impact. But at the moment, as far as as I understand, there is really gray area about how this is going to be addressed. The upcycling of polyester fibers, which is of course important. It's something that has to be done, otherwise it stays there and it's discarded. But yeah, it's something that concerns us a little bit.
Okay. Not to cut you off, but I see the time also, but just to say that actually, okay, this point on the composition and the origin of the fibers when they're upcycled, especially through informal networks, like I assume your
Yes.
sarees are, this is a point that was also raised actually in our event 2 weeks ago. So this is a topic that we are looking at, but it was more in terms of the eco design, but it of course relates to the product passport as well.
Very
Thanks
cool.
for
Thank you so much.
raising.
That's a good chance also for advocacy to get a feedback from the members during this project. We have another question from Maria. I have one doubt regarding marketing and branding. You talked about creating a slogan, a byline. Isabella, are you going to answer this? Is it going to be a slogan when it will be ready? Are you going to work on Fairtrade logo as well? Many thanks.
I guess I want to Natalie to answer that more than me.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Isabella. Yes, I'll answer it. So we are in the very development stages. We've just developed the Gateway to Fair Trade Fashion logo, which you would have seen in the beginning of the presentation. Supporting that logo, we will then have a byline to support the logo that just gives you an example, like Fair Fashion Verified. Please don't quote me on that. I'm just giving you an example. Internally, between the partners, we are still voting and going through the different slogan options. We will then, our intention is to then share top 3 or the top 5 with you members to actually vote to see which one will work best in your industry. Thank you, Tadeusz.
That is also a communication issue. We are considering to establish a kind of action group, working group on communication between project partners, but also composed by members. So if there is anyone willing to contribute, we'll be happy to include you in this working group. We'll also create an email address, one for the project issues, which can be kind of mailbox, and then with these messages, inquiries will be distributed to all the project partners to avoid miscommunication. That is also additional information. And one comment to this, what Indro argued, I think, Indro, that we will try also during this project to go with communication beyond the WFTO bubble. This is one of the goals, to also be present not only among WFTO members, but also in other environment. And we will for sure work on this. Are there any more questions?
I'll answer the
not-
last question regarding the slogan. No, the slogan will not be for each and every member's preference. It will be related what will work best for the fashion industry and our Fair Fashion project. So it won't be member specific. What will be member specific will be the QR code.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And of course, that will be clarified on the on another session when we are ready with this. So I think that now is we are going to conclude the meeting. Isabella, is there anything else to do?
I would like to share my enthusiasm for this very ambitious project. Give my thanks to all the partners who worked very, very hard with the content and with the activities so far. Promise all the members that we will continue, all of us working very hard. And I am hoping that this kind of an activity can create a blueprint for other sector-related partnership or actions within the WFTO system. Today, we're talking about fashion, of course, but why not, open the road to other associations and other group efforts to promote the other sectors within our broader membership. So thank you very much for bearing with us. Thank you for your time. And there's this little survey we would love you to fill up about this meeting and give us some feedback so we can improve as we go. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for all of you for your contribution, for your support to this project, for your presence. And we hope to meet again on other sessions. Let's start to collect low-hanging fruits first, and then we'll develop some other ideas to support your businesses. Thank you. Please don't forget to fill up the survey. That would be very helpful for us.